no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to take.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
I want you to sit back. I want you to ponder. I want you to think about any time you have said something bad about a coworker, a coach, somebody in general. Have you ever said something bad about this person, that person, or in general, right? And then when you are confronted like, hey, that sounds really bad, you kind of like double down, like, well, I didn't really mean that, but I'm not going to apologize either. And you never really straightly clarify of what you're trying to say. And that's what Micah Parsons has been accused of, right? Yesterday, we sat here on the Man Hour, and many other networks basically exposed good old Micah Parsons for calling out Mike McCarthy, saying that he doesn't put in as much effort as he should and other teams are, or like other people are. And there's been different perspectives on this, right? Rex Ryan, very upset about it. Me, being very upset, but I'm like, man, you can't be calling out your coach like that. That is just stupid. That is asinine. That is asinine. And then during his podcast, he says like, well, what I meant was he doesn't have, like, you can go find any other coaching job out there, but us as players, once our time is done, our time is done. He never really said, like, he never really clarified that. You like you had to pick and choose and put words together and say that's what he was trying to say. But at the end of the day, Micah Parsons, you are still dead ass wrong. You are still dead ass wrong. You need to come out and you never air out your dirty laundry in public. We said that. I still stand by that. You never do that. You never post statuses on Twitter or Facebook saying, oh, I hate my wife because she did this and this. You go out and tell her. Like, hey, do the dishes. Don't take pictures and try to guilt shame or do whatever, right? Micah Parsons has been 100% wrong in this whole situation. He needs to come out and basically say, hey, this is what I actually meant. Say that in a completed sentence, not have to pick and choose and try to cherry pick and try to make it make sense. This is what's the problem with the Dallas Cowboys. This is what the problem is with the Dallas Cowboys, is that we have to pick and choose and cherry pick and do all this other crap and try to figure out what you're trying to say. I don't know. It is what it is at the day, but at the end of the day, cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go.
long survive, gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckott here with the Man Hour Resort of manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. But most importantly, guys, share this live stream. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on Rumble, wherever you're watching this, share this with a couple friends because sharing is caring at the end of the day. And guys, we are back live at 96.1 FM here at Big X Sports Radio as well. We are live for 2 hours as that. They want me to cut in and break for these commercial crap? Nope. Not gonna happen. Sorry, radio station. We are straight, live, raw, and uncut. No commercial breaks over here. We don't do that crap. And it sucks to watch commercials, right? I've seen YouTubes where they live stream their radio broadcast and just put up a black screen and say, we're on commercial. Cool, do whatever you want, but my people are on YouTube and Facebook, and it is what it is. So Big X Sports Radio, you guys can cut in your commercials whenever you want. Sorry, what's the old producer's name like over there? I don't know. Can't even remember his name. My bad, man. my bad. I'm having a brain fart day, but we are simulcast over there at Big X Radio Sports X. Big X Sports Radio 96.1 here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. So it is what it is. But dude, guys, got a great show for you lined up today. It is Overreaction Tuesday. So of course we're going to overreact to some things. We're going to overreact to Coach Prime coming to the NFL and saving the Dallas Cowboys. What? We're going to talk about that. Jim Harbaugh has deemed Justin Herbert half man, half beast. Spoiler, is he just a game manager? Drake Maye, not that good. Caleb Williams, is he a bust? I don't know. And then, of course, we got to talk about the Bears situation. They just fired Shane Waldron today. We talked about Matt Eberflus yesterday. And is he just saving face at this particular point? And then we got to talk about some Monday Night Football as well. The Miami Dolphins taking on the LA Rams. The Dolphins come out on top 23-15. Are their playoff hopes back intact? Are the Miami Dolphins going to make the playoffs? Be the third team ever to go 2-6 and make it into the playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, playoffs. We got to talk about that, guys, and much, much more on today's show. But we got to welcome some people into the chat first. We got to welcome the woman, the man, the myth, the legend, the womanizer herself. I don't even know whatever. Laura Hedrick is in the chat, Mrs. Pigskin Pundit herself. Laura says, I missed watching. Day off today, so I'm all in, baby. She is all in like the Dallas Cowboys. They are all in. She's all in. Are you really all in, Laura? Are you like the Dallas Cowboys? Are you really all in? I don't know, Laura. I mean, if you're all in, you're all in. You are here. But Laura, thank you for being here today. Jay Jillian's in the chat today as well. What's up, Jay? Jay, tune in tonight at 7 p.m. East Coast time. I'm going to be streaming it right here on our Facebook page, of course, youtube.com. But I will be a special guest on All Grit, a Detroit Lions podcast. They enjoy me having on there. I enjoy being on there. I'm going to wear Adrian Hutchinson jersey on the show. So I'm going to talk good about your boy, Jay. But Jay, thank you for being here today. And he says, I'm still going to bench Tua and Hill in fantasy. I guess it depends who your other quarterbacks and receivers are. My receivers are Chris Ovelay. He's on IR, should be out for the rest of the season. My other receiver is Michael Pittman Jr. He's in and out. You never know if he's going to play like with the back issues. And then I had Cortland Sutton as well. And of course, I benched him last week. So if I had Hill, I'd be starting him. Tua, it's a big toss-up, right? Because Is he going to go back to his old self, or is he going to kind of be this game manager that he is? I don't know, but it is Jay. Jay, who is your quarterback, Jay? Because I had Aaron Rodgers and then I had Lamar Jackson, and so I've been playing Lamar Jackson all day. My man Mark D is in the chat. Says, what up, Buck? What up, Mark D? What up, what up, what up? We're doing Power Rankings tonight at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here, of course, Facebook.com and YouTube.com with my man Mark D and Hoffy. Week 11, I forgot to do the schedule update, my bad. Week 11 NFL Power Rankings are coming out tonight at 9 p.m. guys, East Coast time. Spoiler alert, there's going to be some upset people. There's going to be some upset people because there's been some changes at the top. There's been some changes at the top, so stay tuned for that. Buckle up because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Mark, remind me after the show to text you and Hoffy the power ranking so you guys can get ready for that. Laura says, so glad to see the Dolphins win last night. It was good, right? It was good to see the Miami Dolphins kind of get back to form. Tua taking that knee to the head on that interception and get back up. That was very, very encouraging. But it wasn't good if you are a Rams fan. It was not good if you were the Rams fan with the Dolphins win last night. But that is where we're going to start today's show off, and that is with the Miami Dolphins, and that is with their victory over the LA Rams 23-15. So as you guys know, Tua did play last night on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins did beat the Rams. Tua went for 207 yards with 1 touchdown with 1 interception. Total, the whole game, the Dolphins rushed for 67 yards. One of them was a reverse play that was a touchdown to Washington, I believe his name was. But Dolphins do move to 3-6 on the season, and they're sitting at 10th in the AFC playoff race. 10! But the question is, can the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs? Can the Miami Dolphins go from 2-6, be the third team ever to make it to the playoffs after starting the season off 2-6? Can they make the playoffs? And when I first was introduced to this question, I saw the people talking about it. I seen people in our trash talk groups talking about it. I'm like, what? Dolphins and playoffs? We were talking about this last week, right? When they finally started to play well. They did lose, but they were playing well. But now this week, they played even better. And I actually posted it on our Facebook page. I'm like, well, these are the Dolphins that we've been wanting to watch, right? They moved to 3-6. So when we look at the AFC playoff race in general, right? When you look at the race, it is a very, very top-heavy race. From 1 to 6, those teams are pretty much locked. Let's just call a spade a spade. Those teams are locked. The Chiefs are making the playoffs. The Bills are making the playoffs. The Houston Texans are making the playoffs. The Steelers are making the playoffs. The Ravens are making the playoffs. And the Chargers are making the playoffs. I believe those 6 teams are pretty much locked for this NFL playoff picture, AFC-wise, right? Now, the 7th seed is a wide open spot. We have the Denver Broncos battling. We have the Indianapolis Colts somehow still capable of making the playoffs. We have the Bengals. Yes, those Bengals can still make the playoffs. The Miami Dolphins, and yes, even the New York Football Jets can all make the playoffs right now, all battling for that 7th position. When you look at percentages and APIs and estimation, right, the Dolphins have a 10% chance of making the playoffs. I feel about 8 or 9 wins is what they need to do to get into the playoffs. Looking at their schedule moving forward, pretty favorable. Pretty favorable. They play the Raiders. That's going to be a dub. They play the Packers. Dolphins always play the Packers well. That could potentially be a win as well. Then they play the Jets, a struggling Texans team, the 49ers, and Browns, and then Jets again to end the season. So they play the Jets twice, and they play the Raiders and the Browns. Those right there, guys, are 4 automatic wins. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Those are 4 automatic wins. That will give them 7 wins on the season. Now, they will probably need 8 or 9, more than likely 9 wins to get into the playoffs. Where is that extra win going to come from? Is it going to come from the Packers? Is it going to come from the Texans? Is it going to come from the 49ers? They need to win 2 of those 3 games. So when we look at it, the Packers are a team that many people are kind of sleeping on, like I feel. I think the Packers are a team that they have the opportunity to be a great team. And they were on their bye week, and people were like, oh, the Lions, oh, the Vikings. Let's not wait the sleeping giant in the Green Bay Packers quite yet. But on the bright side, that game is at Lambeau for the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football on the last week of November. So for the Dolphins to go into Lambeau on a cold night, on Sunday night, after Thanksgiving and all that crap, it's going to be a tough reach for them. Then we look at the Houston Texans. Oh, by the way, that game's at Houston as well. A mid-December game. Yeah. Texans are going to get on a roll at some point. They're going to get right. But then they play the 49ers the next week. At home. That game should be a win. At home, middle of Christmas, 49ers will probably be battling for the division like as well. The Dolphins will be battling for a playoff lives at that particular point. That's a game to circle. Week 16, that is a game to circle. That is going to be a playoff game. But to win 2 of 3 over the Packers, Texans, or 49ers, that is going to be a tough task because the Packers and Texans are both on the road. You're not going to beat the Packers at Lambeau. Just not going to happen. Texans, potentially. The 49ers, potentially. But that is a tough ask to ask. Beating the Jets twice, beating the Patriots, beating the Raiders, beating the Browns, at the Browns on Sunday Night Football. They got a lot of road games. So, guys, are they a playoff-bound team? No. As I would like to jump on that hype train, as my man Arthur Brown is moving back to Miami. Be safe over there, moving back to Miami, though, from Kentucky, dog. But the Miami Dolphins just kind of dug themselves in a hole a little too early. Miami Dolphins dug themselves in a 2-6 hole. Yes, Tua was hurt. Quarterback play was terrible. Tyreek Hill was not finding the end zone. Defense sucked. I mean, everything can come perfectly together. They can be playing Super Bowl caliber football, and even if they make the playoffs, they're going to be a 7 seed at that particular point. Maybe 6 seed. Maybe the Chargers slip up just a little bit. But very first round, you got to either go to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or Buffalo. Have the Finns ever played well in the cold? No. So, I mean, you can be a playoff-bound team, and I am rooting for you to turn around and make the playoffs, mainly because I don't want the Broncos to make it. Sorry, Mark. But it's going to be a waste. Like, legitimately, it is going to be a waste. The only thing good about making the playoffs this season is Mike McDaniels can put that little feather in his cap and say, look, we made it. We made it, boys. Mike McDaniels is the worst primetime winningest coach ever, right? Meaning Mike McDaniels and the Miami Dolphins do not beat winning teams. Look at it. I think they're have 2 or 3 wins over teams that finish the season over 500. Like, they're not good against good teams. They're good against bad teams. Well, guess what? You play good teams in the playoffs. So, the Miami Dolphins are not playoff bound. Yes, the win was nice. Yes, it's a good story to talk about. Yes, it brings good feelings to my body. Like, yay, the Miami Dolphins might be good. But they're not going to make it. They're not going to beat the 49ers. They're not going to beat the Packers. They're not going to beat the Texans. You need 2 of those 3 wins right there, and it's not going to happen. And then to say that you are going to beat the Patriots? Listen, we can dog the Patriots all we want. They're a dog shit team right now. Let's just be honest. Beep that. But the simple fact of the matter is the Patriots have shocked some teams, right? Hell, they beat the Bears last week. They beat the Bengals week 1. Laura, where's your daughter at? They beat the Bengals week 1. The simple fact of the matter is, yes, the Dolphins can make it, but they're not going to. They are not going to make it one bit. They're not going to beat the Jets twice. They're not going to beat the Browns, and they're probably not even going to beat the Raiders. Where's Jim at? The Raiders are going to win this week. They're going to snap that 8-game losing streak. No, they're not. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But guys, let me ask that question. Do you guys think the Miami Dolphins are a playoff bound team? And if they do make the playoffs, can they win a game? I don't think they can even make the playoffs, let alone win a game in the playoffs. They're not going to go into Buffalo win. They're not going to go to Pittsburgh to win. They're not going to go to Baltimore, Maryland to win, or Buffalo. It's just not going to happen. The writing is on the wall. This is a lost season. Just write it off. Get healthy for next season. Retool, re-add, build up that defense. Ride it till the wheels fall off, as Clarice Campbell said, right? Ride it till the wheels come off. And Laura says, Rams deserve the L. Yes, I'm still salty over losing to them. She's a Vikings fan. Guys, Laura is a Vikings fan. For the people that don't know on the radio, that you guys are joining us here for the first time, thank you guys for joining us, and big shout out to you guys. This is a live interactive show site, so if you are listening to us on Big X Sports Radio, come over to facebook.com/manhour or youtube.com/man-hour, and we can interact with you like we are Laura right now. Also, Derek says nope. Derek says nope to playoff-bound Miami Dolphins, Derek, or no that they can even win a playoff game? Or is it nope to both? Nope. A little bit of nope. Laura says she's doing schoolwork, almost completing, done with her junior year being a sophomore. There we go. Let's go. I'm not for sure how I feel about that, but congratulations. So, guys, are the Miami Dolphins a playoff-bound team? That is the question. Are they a playoff-bound team? And I have to say no. I have to say no. I don't have faith. Derek says, do they trade Tua this offseason if he gets hurt again? I believe, didn't they just sign Tua to an extension this season? Let me look that up. Contract. I'm 90% sure that he signed like a $200 million deal over 4 years or something. Like I thought they were all in on Tua. So yeah, they are in on Tua till 2028. So 2025, he has a $25 million base salary. 2026, he has a 39 base salary. 2027, 31 million. And 2028, he has a 41 playoff million. So he signed a 4-year, $212 million deal. So I don't think they trade him, because the dead cap hit is $83 million if they trade him or cut him in 2025, and a $45 million dead cap hit if they trade him in 2026. They are set on Tua. And really, I think Tua is a decent quarterback. There is no reason to trade him at all. I mean, obviously, if he gets hurt, I mean, that's just a part of the process, right? Everybody has the opportunity to get hurt. But if you want to talk about the concussion thing, Derek, we need to talk about the receivers, right? Neighbors. He has 2 concussions so far this season. He's a rookie in the NFL. Chris Olave for the Saints, wide receiver. He's had 5 or 6 concussions since college. So the concussion thing, throw that out the window. It doesn't matter. Yes, they've been bad, whatever, but we're not talking about those other people that have had big concussions. Malik Neighbors, Chris Olave, right? We aren't asking them to retire or sign a waiver to play or whatever. I mean, that's just it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, everybody's going to get hurt. It's a matter of how bad you get hurt and if you come back, right? Not one player in the NFL has never had no type of injury, from sprained ankle to a broken finger to a bloody nose to a concussion to a shattered leg. We've all been hurt at some point in our careers, and it doesn't matter. It is what it is. And Laura says, I hope they win and make it to the playoffs. Laura, are you a Miami Dolphins fan all of a sudden? Laura's a Vikings fan, a Seahawks fan, and now a Miami Dolphins fan and an Atlanta Falcons fan? Somebody get Laura a bigger claw. She's going to have all these jerseys. A spoiler alert, she's a fan of every team Kirk Cousins has played for. Derek says, did Tua sign a waiver? I mean, I'm sure everybody at some point signs a waiver saying, if I die on the field, my family isn't going to sue you. I'm sure that's in the contract, but why does he need to sign a waiver? Tua does not need to sign a waiver. He doesn't need to do anything, right? So Derek says, I'm off work on an injury. Well, Derek, stop getting hurt, man. Stop getting hurt. We don't need no workman comp claim up and hurt. Laura says, I'm an underdog fan. And in the same breath, Laura says, go Cowboys. She likes the underdog. She likes the Dallas Cowboys. But speaking of underdogs, the LA Rams. The LA Rams last night did ultimately lose the Monday Night Football game to the Miami Dolphins, 23-15. The Rams were 4-4. They were on a roll going in this game. People are like, okay, Cooper Kupp's back, Puka's back, Williams is running the ball well. The defense is finally starting to get pressure on the quarterback. Matthew Stafford, 36-year-old, my ass. This man's a young man. They won 3 games in a row over the Raiders, over the Minnesota Vikings, and over the Seattle Seahawks at Seattle. But last night, they finally dropped that game. The three-game winning streak was snapped by the Miami Dolphins. Rams do drop to 4-5 on the season. They are now the 11th seed in the NFC playoff race, giving them just a 13% chance to make the playoffs. So, guys, is the Rams' season off or not? Is their season over? Sitting at 4-5, going into Week 11, is their season over? The Rams got a very tough schedule in my eyes moving forward. They're playing a sneakily decent New England Patriots team. Really, really good on the defensive side of the ball, and the offense is improving. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl team Philadelphia Eagles, I might add. The Saints, they won. Maybe things are starting to click again. Kind of a dangerous team, right? They did start season off 2-0, scoring like 93 points in those first 2 games. But then if they play the Buffalo Bills, the San Francisco 49ers, the Jets, and then the Cardinals to end the season. Right? If the Rams were to make the playoffs, wild card opportunity kind of seems gone in my eyes. It's going to have to be a division championship for the Rams to make the playoffs, because when you look at the NFC playoff picture, you have 3 really, really good teams in the wild card that's probably going to end up with 11 wins. The Commanders, the Vikings, and then the Packers. So you're going to have to win the division at 9-8, 8-9 to sneak into those playoffs. So when we look at that, the question is, can the Rams win the NFC West title? That is the true question. But if you look at the division, currently in first place are the Arizona Cardinals. What? Yeah, those Arizona Cardinals. The same Arizona Cardinals have been the bottom feeders of the NFC West for the last 3 or 4 seasons. They're sitting at 6-4. First in the division. Second in the division, the San Francisco 49ers. 5-4. Seahawks are tied with the Rams in third place at 4-5. Very, very tight race, right? A game or 2 separates everybody. When you look at the division, I feel that the Arizona Cardinals are waiting to fail. The Arizona Cardinals have kind of been playing on this lucky catch me if you can type of momentum, right? They have a 54% chance of winning the division and making it to the playoffs, but they do play some tough games moving forward. The Cardinals play the Seahawks twice in 3 weeks. Then they play the Vikings. Yes, those Minnesota Vikings that are a decent team still might get 8 wins, 9 wins. You never know. Slow it down, baby. But then they play the Rams and 49ers to end the season. Both division games. They do got some easier games, though. They do play the Panthers and Patriots. No, I can overlook and win those games, but they should blow them out, right? Cardinals should finish about with 8 wins, maybe 9. 49ers still have the games versus the Seahawks, Packers, Bills, and Rams, and Dolphins, and Lions, and Cardinals. Oh my Lord! Brutal schedule. The only gimme game is the Chicago Bears, and you don't even have to show up and you're going to win that game. So, is the LA Rams season over? Can they win the division? Because they're not getting a wild card. I think the wild card is out the window from the NFC West. I think all the wild cards are going to come from the NFC North unless something tragic happens to the Minnesota Vikings and or Green Bay Packers. With that being said, guys, looking at their schedule moving forward, it's favorable, but also tough at the same time. Let's say they beat the Patriots. Let's say they beat the Saints. Let's say they beat the Jets and beat the Cardinals to end the season. That's 4 more wins. That gives them 8 wins on the season with losses to the Eagles, Bills, and 49ers. That gives them an 8-9 record to end the season. 8-9 record. Is that good enough to win the division? Potentially. Potentially, because when you look at the 49ers schedule, they play the Seahawks, Packers, Bills, Rams, Dolphins, Lions, and Cards. They're sitting at 5-4. Realistically, they're not going to win all of those games. Realistically, they're probably going to win about 3. They can probably beat the Seahawks. They can potentially beat the Rams and beat the Dolphins. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals. I guess that would give them 9 wins. But that's a tough, right? The Cardinals already beat them once this season. Guys, it is going to be tough for the Rams to make it. Everything's going to have to click for them. Everything's going to have to be perfect for them moving forward because their defense, as much as they've improved the last 2 weeks, they're still a subpar defense. They're still not getting any pass rush. They're still not really linebacker play is pretty bad. Matthew Stafford is 36 years old, taking a beating. How much more of a beating can he take? And the running game. Where's Kyron Williams kind of been like all season? I understand I think he's leading the league in rushing, or not leading the league, but he's still a top 10 rusher. He's 12th in the NFL in rushing yards, second in attempts. But I'm not sold on the Rams, and I think this season is going to be a wash. Unfortunately, last season I was high on the Rams, right? I thought the Rams were going to win the West, and I thought they were going to make some noise in the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs. They made a little noise by playing the Detroit Lions, but this season I'm going to have to write them off. I think the season is all for naught. So, guys, the question is, do you guys think the LA Rams are going to make the playoffs? Are they going to make the playoffs? My man John Peoples in the chat today. What's up, John? What up? It's done. Thank you. How's your sis doing? You guys are talking about family. I love the interaction. I love the family. And the Cards win the division, says John. John said the Arizona Cards are winning the division. They do have a 58% chance of winning that division, John, so that is a safe bet. But don't sleep on the 49ers. Laura says, aren't they playing the Vikings this go around? The Rams already played the Vikings. Or are you talking about the Arizona Cardinals? The Arizona Cardinals play the Vikings soon. Let's look at when they play them exactly. They play them next week. So it is the Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks. So they play the Seahawks next 2 of the 3 games with the Vikings smack dab in the middle of December 1st. Derek says the Niners are going to have to play their starters that last game, as they should. That game probably comes down to the division. Arizona Cardinals at home taking on the San Francisco 49ers. That is why it's a Week 18 game. It should be. Mark D says, I think the NFC West is very, very winnable for the LA Rams. It is very winnable, but they're not going to win it, Mark. They can be as winnable as you want. Hell, the NFC East is still very winnable for the Dallas Cowboys, right? They're not going to win it, but it's still very winnable. The Dallas Cowboys can get hot. They can win 6-7 games in a row and get that first place seat, right? They've done it before. They did it last year, hell. All the Eagles had to do was win 1 game of their final 7, and they couldn't do that. Boom, Dallas Cowboys. First place. It's doable, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Rams have very many injuries coming back from. Guys, these. Yes, the Rams are coming back from a lot of injuries, right? Kupp is back. Puka is back. They're getting healthy. They're getting right, but just like the Miami Dolphins, they're kind of in a too big of a hole now. 4-5 is not a huge hole, but the NFC is very, very well balanced. When you look at the NFC playoff picture, at the cream of the crop, number 1 seed right now, you have the one and only Detroit Lions, right? And then coming in at number 2, you have the hottest team in the NFL right now, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you have the Falcons, 6-4. Then you have the Cardinals, 6-4. Those are the top 4 seeds. But then your wild cards. Look at your wild cards. The Minnesota Vikings sitting at 5, 7-2. The Commanders, 7-3. The Green Bay Packers going to be 7-3 at the end of this week. You are going to have 10 wins to make a wild card. So you're going to have to win that division, and you have to take it from the Arizona Cardinals. Actually, I was misspoke. The Arizona Cardinals have a 60% chance of making the playoffs. The Seahawks and Rams, 10%. I just don't think that they can do it. I think they're wasting their efforts. I think they missed their opportunity to grow within the draft by trading Cooper Kupp to a team like the Steelers or the Buccaneers or a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. They missed that opportunity. They missed the opportunity to move on from Matthew Stafford. He's 36 years old. You do have a backup in Jimmy G that's very, very pliable, a very, very good backup. He could have saved face for the season, and you could have went out there and drafted a quarterback. The Rams missed their opportunity when they beat the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday night football 3 days before the trade deadline. When they won that game, they're like, oh, all praise holla, right? But they messed up. Laura says, doubtful that they will make it. I'm pretty sure. And John says, nope. Meaning they're not going to make it. Not going to make it. James Berlin's in the chat. What's up, James? He says, Rams just can't stay healthy. I don't see a push from them. I think this 3-game winning streak that they were on, James, previously was their push. They needed this Miami Dolphins win to really kind of push them up over the top because winning is contagious. Confidence is contagious. And they were getting confident. They were kind of getting that swagger back. But then, let's just be honest, a 2-6 Miami Dolphins team came into our house on Monday Night Football. We are finally, let's say, 90% healthy. Miami Dolphins are still probably about 70%, 80%. And they come out and they smacked us in the mouth. That sucks. That sucks a lot for them. But as Laura says, let's scroll back up here. The Rams deserve the loss because I'm so salty over them losing to the Vikings. So, guys, that is a question. Can the Rams make the playoffs? I'm saying no. I am saying no. No way, no how. All right, guys, so we are on commercial break over that BitX Sports Radio. Thank you, Bus. And so with that being said, guys, let's talk about something. I've been tinkering with the old brain cells here. And when I am on that Detroit Lions podcast tonight, it is called the All Grits Podcast. It is all Detroit Lions talk. We'll be talking about the Detroit Lions at 7 p.m. East Coast time. I will be airing it here on our Facebook page and, of course, our YouTube page. This is not my show. I'm simply just a guest, but they would like to, for some reason, they like me on there to talk the Detroit Lions. I will be wearing my Adrian Hutchinson jersey tonight to support them because, everybody supports everybody. But I wonder, what if I told them that the Detroit Lions suck? What would happen? What if I told them that the Detroit Lions just not very good, man? Not very good. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that. James Chambers on YouTube today. What's up, James? He says, Rams didn't deserve anything. My Dolphins F them up, baby. James, you miss me praising your Dolphins. You miss me saying that the Dolphins are still going to miss the playoffs. You still miss me saying that the Miami Dolphins, even if they did make the playoffs, they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens. And John says, you're welcome. For what? What am I welcome for? But thank you. I appreciate you, John. Appreciate it. And Laura says, don't do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But what I'm not going to do is talk about the Chicago Bears. What I'm not going to do is go on the Detroit Lions podcast tonight and talk about the Chicago Bears because they are a complete dumpster fire. The Chicago Bears have to be the worst ran organization ever. Ever. The Chicago Bears are terrible. But today, I woke up this morning. Yesterday, we talked about Matt Eberflus, right? We talked to Matt Eberflus, and we're like, he's probably should have been fired. Matt Eberflus come out and said, hey, changes will be made. We're not benching Caleb Williams, but changes will be made. So I went to bed. I was pondering, like, man, what kind of changes could they be making? Well, first of all, I question myself, why am I laying in bed thinking about the Chicago Bears? Secondly, I'm thinking, like, why am I thinking about Matt Eberflus? Thirdly, I'm like, man, what is Beastie doing? Like, now I know how Combs feels each and every day. But woke up this morning, getting ready for the show, doing my research, reading, yada, yada, yada. My ticker came across the screen saying, Sean Waldron has been fired. Offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears has been fired. The first year offensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears has been fired. I was like, what? That's the big change that you're going to make? You're not firing yourself. You're firing Shane Waldron? The first year offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. What? You realize you have a rookie quarterback. You realize now he's going to be on his third offensive coach in less than a full calendar year, right? Dating back to college, right? College coach and then an NFL coach and another NFL coach. Third signal caller in less than a year? Like, what? What? Now, I understand that the Chicago Bears are the 29th ranked offense in the NFL. I do understand they're 169 yards passing per game. I understand they have 108 rushing yards per game. I understand they're only averaging 19.4 points per game. There's only two teams worse than them on offense, and that's the New England Patriots and James's Cleveland Browns. Matt Eberflus has emphasized saying they're not going to fire Caleb Williams. But the real question is, can the Chicago Bears recover from this? Can the Chicago Bears recover from firing yet another offensive coordinator? Can they recover from losing through 3 games in a row? Can they recover and save their rookie quarterback? Guys, it is a very real possibility that the Chicago Bears may not win another game for the rest of the season. Chicago Bears fans, wrap your heads around that. There's a very real possibility that you may not win a game for the rest of the season. This week they play the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love now owns the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers passed the ownership over to Jordan Love, and the Packers run over the Chicago Bears year after year after year. That's a loss. Then you play the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, those Minnesota Vikings, the ones that were 5-0 to start the season, the ones that everything was going right and people were on cloud 9 about. You're probably going to lose to those Minnesota Vikings. And then you play one of the best teams in the NFL. Not the best, but one of the best. You go into Detroit and you get hammered by the Detroit Lions. And then you're on the road again versus the San Francisco 49ers. And then you're on the road again versus the Minnesota Vikings. And then you're back at home to play the Lions, Seahawks, to back on the road to the Green Bay Packers. That schedule sucks. It is terrible. My best Charlie Barkley voice. That's terrible. Guys, the Chicago Bears are not going to recover from this at all. They're not. Interim offensive coordinator is Thomas Brown. Do you guys know anything about Thomas Brown? I sure in the hell didn't. So I went and did my research. This man was he was an all SEC running back from back in the day. He was a running back coach for the last 15 or about 10, 11 seasons in the NFL. He was a running back coach in Carolina and was promoted to offensive coordinator when in 2023 when the Carolina Panthers started 0-6. Yes, he won a game last season, but they went on to greener pastures. Now he's on a Chicago Bears team that's sitting at 4-5 on the season, losing 3 games in a row versus the Commanders, losing to the Cardinals, and losing to the Patriots. With the rookie quarterback, with the incompetent head coach. Guys, the Chicago Bears are never going to recover from this. We said it yesterday, and I'm saying it today. They're not going to win a game for the rest of the season. This 3-game losing streak, let's flash back. Let's flash back to the 3-game winning streak when they beat the Rams, Panthers, and Jaguars. The world was on fire. The Bears are 4-2. We're tied for second place in the division. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams is the rookie of the year. We have the MVP. We have the coach of the year. We have this, and now we have a 3-game losing. We're not going to win the coach. We're going to game for the rest of the season. If I was a Chicago Bears fan, which I am not a Chicago Bears fan. I want them to do well. I root for them because my man BC Combs is a diehard Chicago Bears fan, and I hate to see him cry every time they lose, but damn it, the Bears suck. The Bears are so bad. They are the worst ran organization ever. They have the worst coach ever in Matt Eberflus. Should have been fired last season. They have the worst general manager, Ryan Poles. Yes, you did some good. Yes, you made a splash. Yes, you did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but you haven't done shit since. None of that turmoil has changed into success. They have ruined 3 quarterbacks' careers in the NFL. Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields, they had tried to ruin Justin Fields' career, and now they're going to ruin Caleb Williams. Guys, the Chicago Bears are not going to recover from this. Firing Shane Waldron was a mistake. I understand 29th ranked offense. I understand it. Only 19 points per game. I understand it. 169 yards, passing yards. 69. The simple fact of the matter is, this is still a Matt Eberflus system. This is still a Matt Eberflus system, a defensive-minded coach, a defensive linebacking coach for the Dallas Cowboys from, 2010, right? The fact of the matter is, you keep bringing in these guys, and you don't ever produce. Don't ever produce. Defensive mind. You tried with Matt Nagy. Didn't really give him, people around him to be successful. Kicked him out. But you're hanging on to Matt Eberflus. Guys, the Chicago Bears will not be able to recover from this at all. So the question is, guys, can the Chicago Bears recover from this? I want you guys to know answer that in the comments. Can they recover from this? Was firing of Shane Waldron a good thing? Is it a good thing? Laura says, I need that hat. It's on the merch store, Laura. Maybe we'll send out hats next quarter for Picks and Pundits. Yeah, we'll do it next quarter for Picks and Pundits. James Chamberlain says, yeah, it's a week to week with my Dolphins. It's all about running the team's other season out. Yeah. John says, Aiden Hutchinson jersey is a superior football knowledge. Jeez. Mark D says, been saying it since the offseason. Chicago Bears should have hired Cliff Kingsbury. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? But I was listening to a other radio show today. It is the radio show that Combsy works for. I forget the name of it, but it's the radio show up in Chicago where he produces and stuff like that. And they were saying that nobody wanted to come to Chicago. Mark, they could have tried to hire Cliff Kingsbury all they want, but everybody and their dog knows that Matt Eberflus was on the hot seat before the season even started. And everybody in Chicago was saying, win, lose, or draw, Matt Eberflus is out of Chicago at the end of the season. So basically, why would Cliff Kingsbury want to go in there and put himself in a terrible situation, or any notable coach put themselves in a terrible situation and then try to come out on the other side? The Chicago right now is a no-win situation, and that's why they ultimately hired Shane Waldron, because nobody wanted to go there. He was like, I'll take it. And who are you? It doesn't matter. Come on over. They needed somebody. It was just a process of elimination. Cliff Kingsbury may have been a perfect pick for him. Also could have been Shane Waldron too. May have been. We've seen Cliff Kingsbury be successful in college. Well, with Oklahoma and then USC, he has not been very successful as the head coach in the NFL. Maybe, just maybe, it's all Jay Daniels in Washington. Maybe, just maybe, it's all Dan Quinn. Maybe, just maybe, it's not Cliff Kingsbury, but it's better than Shane Waldron, I guess, right? And John, all capital letters, let me clear my throat. He says, nope. The Chicago Bears will never recover from this. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe BC has been saying for the last 2-3 seasons, as long as we've been talking Chicago sports with BC Combs, he has said the only way Chicago Bears will ever be good is if Virginia McCaskey dies. And the girl's like 102, 103, 3 years old. We're not wishing death on anybody, but I was always dogging Combs like, what? Like, get out of here. This little old lady's not running the team. There's other people, right? He's like, no, I'm telling you, she does this. And Virginia McCaskey might be the drawback for the Chicago Bears. The only way they're ever going to get better is if she ultimately does die. And I don't want to wish death on anybody, but time has run its course. Sorry. James Shindlin says, if the Bears lose out, they can get a number 1 pick again and draft another quarterback again. If the Bears lose out, okay, this would be the most Chicago-esque thing ever, right? This would be the most Chicago-esque Bear thing ever. Let's say they are in this tanking mode, right? Let's say they have lost to the Packers, lost to the Vikings, lost to the Lions, lost to the 49ers, and lost to the Vikings again. Just get blown out. Just getting humiliated, right? Last 3 weeks of the season, they play the Lions, Seahawks, both at home, and the Packers on the road. Let's say after Christmas Day, or right before Christmas Day, right before they play the Detroit Lions, the week before Christmas, Virginia McCaskey's like, Ryan Poles, I want you to fire Matt Eberflus. He's just not a very good coach. We've lost 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. I don't want to see it. I want us to end us on a high note. Ryan Poles is like thinking in the back of the like, hey, we're buying for a first overall pick, lady, but you're my boss. Matt Eberflus, you're gone. They promote, I don't know, Thomas, what was his name? Let me look it up again. Thomas Brown. They elevate Thomas Brown to intern head coach. So Thomas Brown has been the passing game coordinator for Chicago, which I forgot to add that. He was a passing game coordinator for Chicago. That's averaging 169 yards per game. Let's promote him to offensive coordinator. Yeah, we lose 5 more games in a row. 4 games in a row. 7-game lose streak. Matt Eberflus, you're out. Insert his interim title as head coach. Then somehow, some way, let's say they beat the Detroit Lions, they beat the Seahawks, and they beat the Packers to end on a 3-game winning streak to end the season. To make it a respectable season, right? They're 7-10 yet again. Second year in a row, they're 7-10. Bears fans are clapping. We found our coach. Hire the guy. And they hire him. And they not only do they not get the first overall pick, they hired a lame duck coach yet again. They are sold that he is going to win them a Super Bowl, get into the playoffs, win the division, yada, yada, yada. He's a bust. Fire him midseason next year. Caleb Williams gets another offensive coach, another head coach, his second and third ones in 2 seasons. And then, guess what? Everybody's saying Caleb Williams is so bad, get him out of town. He's Mr. Trubisky all over again. He's Justin Fields all over again. Simple fact of the matter is the coaching staff is the issue. The organization is the issue. The Chicago Bears are the issue. That would be the most Bear thing to do, is to buy for the first overall pick and then fire their head coach, get a little spark, and then bada bing, bada boom, win 3 games to make it 7-10 on the season. That would be the Bears thing to do. Derek said it yesterday, or they're keeping that head coach. You said that, Derek, or the Chicago Bears organization said that? Because Matt Eberflus is not coming back next season. There are 3 coaches in the NFL not coming back to their teams next season. One of them is Matt Eberflus. The other one's Mike McCarthy. And the third one is Brian Daboll. Not going to happen. Laura says, where's my mouse? There it is. Laura says the Browns should have waved the white flag and forfeit the rest of the season. I'm just saying. AKA, Laura, you are scared of the Chicago Bears. You do not want 2 wins from the Chicago Bears come when they beat down the Minnesota Vikings. You can say it. It's okay. John says the Bears need offensive line. Meh. If I remember correctly, during that 3-game winning streak, the Chicago Bears offensive line was ranked 10th in the NFL per PFF. And I bet you if I look it up right now, they'll still be top 12. The Bears offensive line is not good. PFF is very, very flawed, but their stats do give validity that they are decent, right? But I'm just saying. James says the Bears need to trade tight end Cole Kmet. He could be one of the best tight ends on another team. Anybody on the Chicago Bears roster could be better than they are now. Rome can be better. Who was that cornerback that they just signed? Jaden somebody. They made him the highest paid cornerback in the league. Keenan Allen, he could be traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, be the best receiver in the league. DJ Moore, trade him back to the Panthers. The Chicago Bears are just terrible. Terrible. Sarah's in this. Well, what's up, Sarah? She says, Bears can't even beat the Patriots. Quit talking about beating the Packers and Vikings. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying, Sarah, in theory, that would be the most Bears thing that could happen. They fire their coach the last 3 weeks of the season after losing 7 games in a row. At that point, the Detroit Lions will probably have the number 1 overall seed locked up. No need to play the last 3 weeks of the season. The Packers have the 5th seed locked up. No need to play for the rest of the season. And the Seahawks will probably would be out of it. So that would be the most logical thing to happen, is they can compete with the Packers and Lions in those last 2 weeks. And I simply just said the Vikings just to dog Laura, and Laura's like, BS. The Bears are not beating the Vikings. They're not. But Sarah, thank you for your comment. We appreciate that. John says, nope. After the last couple weeks, check it out. You Google it. Let me Google it. Bears offensive line ranking. Well, guess what, John? I just looked it up. The offensive line ranking for the Chicago Bears is 12th. Like I told you. Below them are the Rams, Texans, and Chargers. 13, 14, 15. Like, come on. I know my shit, John. The best offensive line ranking is the Detroit Lions. Then you had the Falcons, and then you had the Browns, and the Eagles, Chiefs, Jets, Packers, Colts, Bengals, Vikings, Broncos, and then the Bears. Come on. You act like I don't look at this stuff. This is per PFF. It's 100% wrong, but that's what PFF says. 12th ranked offensive line in the NFL. Hell, they got the Chiefs as a top 5 offensive line. We know the offensive line is not very good for the Kansas City Chiefs, but whatever. You know who the worst offensive line is? The New York Football Giants. Oh, man. Laura says, I am not afraid of the Bears. They're the least of my concerns. I don't want to play the Lions again. We got to. You got to. John says, if it makes you feel any better, Minnesota makes me nervous too. Maybe. Sarah says, Flores versus Caleb. That's all I got to say. Sarah, are you a Vikings fan? Because I believe the Minnesota Vikings are going to have his way, and Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings are going to have their way with the Chicago Bears. Not because of all Brian Flores, but just because the Chicago Bears are that bad. They are not very, very good. Laura says, well, we will be going into that week rooting for opposite teams. Vikings versus Lions. I love it. a couple weeks before that as well. So Shane was fired, but was it the right move? Was it the right move to fire Shane Waldron as their offensive coordinator? Is this just Matt Eberflus trying to save face? Is this just Matt Eberflus trying to hang on to any shred of dignity and into going to OC like, hey, my offensive coordinator was the issue? Is this just an out for Matt Eberflus to fire Shane Waldron? Guys, Matt Eberflus has been with the Chicago Bears organization for 3 seasons. He was hired in 2020 and 22. That particular season, they went 3-14. All hope was lost. Not a very, very good team, right? They traded. They had the number 1 overall pick that particular season. They traded the farm, or the Carolina Panthers traded the farm for them plus DJ Moore to get that first overall pick. 2023, insert DJ Moore, insert second season of Matt Eberflus, insert Justin Fields, kind of maybe finally having stability in that offense. In that team in general. They go 7-10. Everything seemed to be heading in the right direction, right? Justin Fields ultimately gets benched for 4 or 5 games. Insert Tayshaun Bagent. Tayshaun Bagent, Historia kind of wore off. The Bears made some defensive moves to bring in like Marquez Sweat and some other people. And Justin Fields enters back in the lineup week 12 to go 4-2 to end the season. Chicago Bears fans are on cloud 9. They're talking all this stuff. Our defense is great. We have the offensive pieces. DJ Moore, Justin Fields is doing. We have the first overall pick. Insert 2024. Trade Justin Fields. Get him out of town. We don't want him no more. We got the first overall pick. We're going to get Caleb Williams when they're currently 4-5. When you look at the Chicago Bears franchise, guys, as an organization, they have ruined 3 quarterbacks' careers. Mitchell Trubisky, Justin Fields, and now Caleb Williams. All going in a bust type of category. The Chicago Bears is killing young quarterbacks. When you look at Mitchell Trubisky's time, 4 years in Chicago, he had no help around him at all. They're saying, Mitchell Trubisky, you are our guy. We drafted you above Patrick Mahomes. You be the man. In his 4 years in Chicago, he had a sack rate of 8%. So 1 out of every 8 times he would drop back, he would have somebody in his face sacking him. 60% completion percentage, not great, but not good. But yet he still had a winning percentage with the Chicago Bears. In 2018, he was 11-3 as a starter. His third year, 8-7. And his last year, 2020, he was 6-3. I think Mr. Trubisky got the short end of the stick. No help around him, but we digress. Justin Fields had a sack rate of 12% per dropback. Under 60% completion percentage. Since joining the Steelers, he has a 70% completion percentage. It's a sack rate under 7%, and he has 1,100 yards in 6 games. He was on pace to surpass his best season in Chicago in 2,500 yards. The simple fact of the matter is, guys, this move was to save Matt Eberflus's job. Matt Eberflus was trying to make changes to try to jerry up something. 7 wins, baby, let's go. He's trying to save his job. We said it yesterday. I said he needed to be fired. I said Matt Eberflus needs to be gone. Gone. See you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. He's doing everything he can right now to save his job. It's not going to work. Guys, do the Chicago Bears ultimately fire Matt Eberflus, win, lose, or draw at the end of the season? That's the question that I'm going to ask you. That's the question. That is the question. Sarah says, I think firing Walden won't matter. The locker room is lost. Sarah, I think you are spot on. However, those players are saying the right things. Unlike Micah Parsons throwing his teammates and coaching and organization under the bus, the players are saying the right thing. Behind closed doors, they can be like, F you, MF this, yada, yada, yada. But on the surface, to us public people, everything seems to be hunky-dory. But we all know losing 3 games in a row causes a lot of rift, causes a lot of issues in the locker room. 100%. I think you're right. I think everybody knows that Matt Eberflus is gone. He's just trying to save face at this particular point. Derek says he was given 2 first-round picks. Probably going to go back to college. Nope. Matt Eberflus is going to go become the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. That is what's going to happen, Derek. Laura says, you know it's going to be a revenge game. Unfortunately, it's going to be bets off the table, unfortunately. Sarah says, if a Hail Mary can break your team, Eberflus ain't the coach. And I don't think the Hail Mary broke the team. I think the Hail Mary exposed the team, right? This team was already broken, right? Yes, they won 3 games in a row before that Hail Mary, but they beat the Rams, very struggling Rams team at that particular point. They beat the Panthers, not a good Panthers team. They beat the Jaguars, not a good Jaguars team. The point of the matter is the Hail Mary exposed it, right? It finally broke that final layer and like, whoa, look at this fractured house, right? I think that's what it is. So guys, does Matt Eberflus get fired? Yes or no? Yes or no? I have to say yes. But guys, it is Tuesday, and that means one thing and one thing only. It is time for Overreaction Tuesday. And that is right. We have been scouring the old interwebs, and we've been seeing what the people are talking about. We see what the people on the couch behind the computer screens are talking about, and we are going to determine if it's an overreaction. Damn, you need to slow it down, baby, over there, or if it's an underreaction, like, you're pretty spot on. So, guys, play along in the comments below. Welcome to hour number 2 on the Man Hour here on Facebook.com, of course, YouTube.com/Man Hour, respectively, and, of course, on Big X Sports Radio 96.1 right here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. So Overreaction Tuesday, guys, is brought to you by Beast Energy Bites. Beast Energy Bites are the bites that get you energy in a single bite. No more buying those energy drinks and no more buying those Red Bulls, Monsters, etc. Get some Beast Energy Bites. Links are in the description below. I've been taking Beast Energy Bites now, guys, for a couple days, and I can tell that my focus is a lot more laser focused. I have that focus, and we love it. We love it. Plus, it tastes pretty good. I got the cotton candy flavor, and I am a huge cotton candy advocate. I love me some cotton candy. So, we've been talking heavy about the Chicago Bears. We've been talking heavy about the Miami Dolphins, and guess what? We got to go back to talking the Chicago Bears. We got to go talk about Caleb Williams. We have to talk about this potential bust of a Caleb Williams. So as you guys know, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears did drop to 4-5 on this young NFL season. Not young anymore. It's a teenage NFL season. We're in double digits, week 11. Almost a teenager. But after winning 3 games in a row versus the Rams, Panthers, and Jaguars, since then they've lost 3 games in a row. Sarah pointed it out. Since the Hail Mary game, they lost to the Commanders, Cardinals, and Patriots. Since then, Caleb Williams has been not playing very, very good football at all. Hell, on Sunday, he only had 120 yards passing versus the Patriots. He played the full game, only 120 yards passing. That is the lowest in the NFL since 1943. Back then, they didn't pass the ball. Let's just be honest. So, guys, is it an overreaction if I say that Caleb Williams will be a bust in the NFL? Before the NFL season even started, many people were already putting Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I think people were saying it basically just to say that I was the first one to say that. Here's my hot take of the year, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, slow it down, baby. And then in the same breath, those same people after a preseason game, Caleb Williams is going to be the rookie of the year. I'm like, slow it down. It's freaking preseason. Slow it down. I told them to slow it down. I told her to shut up and stop labeling him a bust. He is not being brought up. He's not being coached right. So far, Caleb Williams this season has 1,785 yards passing with 9 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. His QBR currently is 38. 38 QBR ranking out of 100. Ouch. He will now have to learn from his third coach in a year dating back to college, offensive coordinator-wise, right? So you got your college, you got your college coordinator, then you had Shane Waldron, and now you got what was his name? Thomas, was it Thomas Jones? Thomas Brown. So third coach in a calendar year, it is tough, right? But Caleb Williams, guys, has talent. If he didn't have talent, he wouldn't be in the NFL. But he looks uncomfortable playing the quarterback position in Chicago. He looks antsy, he looks nervous, and he doesn't look very sure of himself, to be honest. I looked it up. Statmuse.com says that Caleb Williams is hanging on to the ball 6.3 seconds per pass play. So 6 seconds, guys. Let's count that. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. That's a long, long time. No wonder he's getting sacked at a rate of 12% per dropbacks. That is a long time to pass a ball. Hell, Xavier Worthy just ran 75 yards in those 6 seconds. Let's just be honest. He has talent, but he looks uncomfortable. But the worst part is the coaching has been bad. Matt Eberflus should have been fired last season. He ruined Justin Fields. Justin Fields, the worst quarterback in the... First things first. Justin Fields, generational talent. Caleb Williams, generational talent. Stop saying that term. It's overblown, right? Overblown. But Matt Eberflus' system has ruined 2 generational talents. Coaching has been bad, but he has been playing worse. What the Chicago Bears need to do is to take a play out of the Carolina Panthers playbook. They need to do what the Carolina Panthers did this season. They benched Bryce Young. They benched him. He was playing bad. Everything was moving too fast for him. He needed to slow it down. He needed to learn how to be a professional. Now, I'm not saying Taysom Bagent is the end-all, be-all for the Chicago Bears, but he did not that half bad when he was with the Chicago Bears starter. Didn't win a games, but everything seemed to look a little bit more fluid, right? Sit Caleb Williams down for the rest of the season. Let Taysom Bagent take the realm. Make it so Caleb Williams doesn't have to listen to Matt Eberflus for another season. Get Matt Eberflus out of there, because if Matt Eberflus is the coach moving forward, he will be a bust. And it would not be an overreaction. But the question is, guys, is it an overreaction if I say that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust in the NFL? And it is definitely an overreaction. It is an overreaction because I think we use the term bust wrong, right? The biggest bust in the NFL was because they went to bad teams with bad coaching and bad organizations. Ryan Leaf, arguably one of the biggest busts in the NFL ever, right? The point is, he had bad team. The coaching wasn't bad. He wasn't brought up properly. He didn't have that big brother, and he got in like some drugs and this and yada, 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 and he lost it all. Jamarcus Russell may have been the same way. I don't know, but the truth of the matter is if Caleb Williams gets a new coach, gets a coaching staff, not an organization, but like a staff, change the culture and raise him right, raise my boy into a man, he will not be a bust. But at the current rate, he will be a bust in the NFL. So is it an overreaction, guys, or an underreaction saying that Caleb Williams will be a bust in the NFL? Let's scroll back up to the comments here. Yada, yada, yada. You guys talking about a friendly little bit. Sarah says, I think Caleb will be a bust in Chicago. As currently constructed, Sarah, I think you are correct. I think you are 100% correct, because currently constructed Chicago Bears are bad. You can, like I said this before, if you put Mitchell Trubisky with the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes with the Chicago Bears, Patrick Mahomes is not Patrick Mahomes that we know right now. It's just not. Patrick Mahomes would be deemed a bust. That is why I say that Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback. And it's not a bad term. It's not a bad thing. It's just certain people fit certain systems better. Patrick Mahomes would have been a bust in Chicago. Right now, Caleb Williams is going to be a bust in Chicago unless they don't fix it now. So, Sarah, let me ask you this question. If you think Caleb Williams is a bust in Chicago, what needs to happen? Does he need a new team? Like Mitchell Trubisky when he went to the Buffalo Bills, get a nice fresh start. Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers, nice fresh start. Or is it coaching? Is it like, what is it? Like, how can he not be a bust? And John says he will be an average bust. Is that the most wafflest answer ever, John? An average bust. What? So does that mean like, yeah, he won't live up to the hype? Rookie of the year, Super Bowl MVP, but he won't be bad either? Like, is he going to be like I don't know, Tony Romo? Like, what do you want? Clear that up a little bit, John. Derek says that is an overreaction. Derek says, slow it down, baby. He is not going to be a bust. Slow it down. Simmer down now, you hear? And Laura says it's an overreaction. Y'all talking crazy. Slow it down. Caleb Williams is going to be just fine. He's going to figure it out, says Laura. He's going to figure it out. He's not going to be a bust. And in 2 weeks' time, he is going to come home the week before Thanksgiving, week after Thanksgiving, and he's going to beat my Minnesota Vikings. John says, no more training ball, busty. Yeah. Laura says, does he stay in the pocket the whole 6 seconds? Most of the time, yes, Laura. Most of the time, Caleb Williams, when he is sacked, he is in the pocket. He is perfect little horseshoe. The offensive line is holding up for about 4 or 5 seconds. He tries to scramble, but there's no place to go. Most of those sacks are in the pocket. And John says, no, he's not running for his life, John. He's not. Sarah says, quarterbacks need to go to organizations that need to save coaching jobs never work out well. This is facts. We all knew that Matt Eberflus was on the hot seat before the NFL season even started, and he's even on a hotter seater now. And Derek says he should go to Gruden's quarterback camp. Okay. I like it. James Chamberlain says, name another USC quarterback or a OSU that produced outside of Stroud. They don't. I can name you 3 USC quarterbacks that have produced. Carson Palmer, Matt Castle when he was not with my Kansas City Chiefs the year that he was with the Patriots. I choose not to live that ever in my life again. And that's about it, I guess. Maybe I can't name 3. Carson Palmer is the only one. So, James, you're right. USC and Ohio State do have a bad rap of quarterbacks. Justin Fields will be all right, though. Don't sleep on Justin Fields. Bears are talking to Gruden. Everybody wants to talk to Gruden. Gruden doesn't want you, though. You may want me, but I don't want you, baby. Laura says, I think they overhyped him and it got to his head. Now he can't play that what everybody wants him to, and he sucks. You are right. Chicago Bears hyped Caleb Williams up since day one. When the Chicago Bears knew that they were getting the first overall pick in January of 2024, once the NFL season was over, the regular season, and they're like, we're getting the first overall pick, they're like, Caleb Williams, they're going to get the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're 7-10. Yeah, we got the first overall pick, but we're going to Super Bowl next year because Caleb Williams was a lifesaver. You are right, sir. Laura, you are exactly right. It is hard to live up to expectations. It is hard to live up to be a CEO when you are still a line worker, right? Now, I'm not dogging line workers or I'm not dogging CEOs, but there is different levels of expectations, right? When you are a line worker, you expect to put out a good product, right? You do what is asked, and you do your thing, you do it, and you move on. CEO is thinking big picture. We got to make money, got to do this, whatever, right? Caleb Williams is still a line worker. He's not ready to be promoted to line leader or shift leader or manager or assistant plant manager or CEO. He's still entry level. People need to understand that. Sarah says Caleb needs a new team. Bears have shown throughout history they're not capable of developing quarterbacks. The Bears do have that history. Mitchell Trubisky with Matt Nagy, Justin Fields with Matt Eberflus, and now Caleb Williams with Matt Eberflus, right? But maybe they just need a culture shift. Maybe John Gruden needs to come in. Maybe they need some type of player coach like Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson. Maybe they need a shakeup. They need a decent head coach. That is what they need. That is what they need. Laura says, don't go to the Vikings. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of talk to Viking groups before we signed to the Bears. So Caleb Williams with the Vikings? What? Slow it down, baby. Laura says he's not beating my Vikings defense. John says, was going to give him the stock in the team. They was. Even though that was a completely made up false statement, but they would have gave him the house, the dog, and the cat. Let's just be honest. I'm not poking at you guys. I'm not poking. But speaking of bust, Drake Maye. Yes, Drake Maye, New England Patriots quarterback. The Patriots at some point this season lost 6 games in a row. The Patriots now have won 2 of their last 3. Drake Maye, since entering as starter, has just under 1,000 yards passing this season. He has 3 games over 200 yards passing and a 184-yard game versus a good Chicago Bears defense last week. We've been talking about Drake Maye. We talk about how bad the New England Patriots are. But guys, is it an overreaction to tell you that Drake Maye is not as good as his stats suggest? When we look at Drake Maye, guys, he is on a bad New England Patriots team. Drake Maye is arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL. It is. Drake Maye has been putting up above average numbers. Don't get it twisted. And he is playing on a bad team with a rookie head coach. And the offense is bad at best. We did the rankings. They're 31st in the NFL. The only team worse than the New England Patriots and offense is the Cleveland Browns. Chicago Bears are 30th. They're not good. They have no receivers. They have running backs. They're just as bad as well. He did play well his first start versus the Houston Texans, throwing for 243 yards. He also led the teams in rushing with 31 yards. But the Texans were a very, very banged up team at the time on the defensive side of the ball, and there was no film on Drake Maye. The following week, he threw for 276 yards versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, they did lose over the pond, but he also led the team in rushing at 18 yards. Are you guys catching a trend here? Leading passer, leading rusher, not a good combination. Since then, he lost to the Tennessee Titans, making him 0-3 as a starter, but did throw for 206 yards passing and led the team with 95 yards rushing. Last week, week 10, finally got his first win of his NFL career over the Chicago Bears in week 10. He threw for 184 yards. So, guys, is it an overreaction if I tell you that Drake Maye is not that good? Drake Maye is playing where he needs to play right now. Drake Maye is progressing week after week after week. His stats are going down week after week after week, but he is playing more complete football, playing more careful football week after week after week. If Drake Maye continues to progress the way he is, and if the Patriots build around him and expect him not to be Tom Brady, not expect him to be Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, to be Drake Maye, he can be pretty good. He will be a game manager, and the Patriots need to understand that, but he'll be pretty good. So, guys, is it an overreaction to say that Drake Maye is not that good? That is an overreaction. Drake Maye is going to be pretty decent. Drake Maye might be one of the best quarterbacks coming out of this class, depending on what Jaden Daniels does his following seasons, right? Drake Maye has the highest ceiling out of all of these quarterbacks. He's going to be pretty good. Going to be pretty good. Sarah says Drake Maye, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr. all have new coaches with leeway. And this is a big thing. The Commanders are 100% on Dan Quinn. This season will give Dan Quinn at least 4 more years in the NFL. Raheem Mostert, right? For the Falcons. I think they're all in on him. They're very, very satisfied with what he's doing this season, doing what this team wants to do, right? Win the division, make it to the playoffs. Plus, Michael Penix Jr. sitting behind Kirk Cousins, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Best Contract Negotiator ever. He's going to have some time. Drake Maye and Gerard Mayo, that could be questionable, right? That could be questionable because I heard Patriots fans, Hoffy, saying that they don't like Gerard Mayo at all. They don't like Gerard Mayo because he has the Bill Belichick mindset, and the players nowadays do not like that. Gerard Mayo has come out and said that his team is soft or this and that, right? I think Gerard Mayo is probably on the shortest of like all those sticks, and hopefully Drake Maye can keep that leash a little bit longer by continuing to progress each and every week. Sarah also says Caleb was the only first round quarterback that went to a team that needed to be saved coaching job. All other rookie quarterbacks went to a new stable coaching job. Peyton and Kevin O'Connell aren't going anywhere. True. Very, very true. But also on the flip side, Sarah, everybody thought that the Chicago Bears was the best situation built for any rookie quarterback. And that's why they're so high up on Caleb Williams. John says Drake Maye will be an average quarterback with no Super Bowl titles. So all 30 other quarterbacks in the NFL right now, right? No Super Bowl titles. James says Penix is getting to sit and will pay big dividends. I like Michael Penix Jr. I liked him when he was here in Indiana. I liked him when he was with Washington. Michael Penix Jr. can be a very, very successful person, right? Very, very successful. Where am I at here? There we go. Next up here on the Way or No Way, Tuesday edition. It's Overreaction Tuesday. My bad. Not my bad. Overreaction Tuesday, guys. Wow. Wake up, Buck. Wake up. Let's restart that. Are we ready? We're ready. Overreaction Tuesday, guys, is here. And Justin Herbert, the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick Mahomes 2.0, has just got a new nickname. Jim Harbaugh has deemed Justin Herbert half man, half beast. And when I heard that, I'm thinking man, bear, pig. If you know, you know. Also, spider pig. Spider pig. Spider pig. Do whatever a spider pig does. Does he swing from a web? No, we don't, because he's a pig. But man, bear, pig is from South Park. But Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh said he's half beast, half man in his latest press conference. Chargers have now won 3 games in a row and winners of the 4 of their last 5. One of the hottest teams in the NFL. Justin Herbert does have 1,900 yards this season, 11 touchdowns to just 1 interception. So, guys, is it an overreaction to say that Justin Herbert is a game manager and not a beast? So when I think of beast, I'm thinking of a quarterback like Josh Allen that is going to go out there and sling it all over the field and win you a lot of games. When I think of beast, I'm thinking of like potentially Jordan Love. Wants to go out there and sling the ball all over the field. I'm thinking a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, even back in his Detroit Lions day, out there slinging the ball over the field. And I think of game manager, thinking of Patrick Mahomes, thinking of Kirk Cousins. I'm thinking of Dak Prescott. Should be a game manager, but he's not. But I'm thinking about Brock Purdy. So there are 2 different styles here of quarterbacks. There's beast and there's game manager. Game manager is not a bad term. Don't get that twisted. Game manager is not a bad term, but Justin Herbert in his last 4 games has been, quote, a beast, right? He has 1,074 yards in the last 4 games, including a 349-yard game versus the Arizona Cardinals, but which they lost that game. And the wins so far this season, he has passing yards of 144, 130, 237, 279, 282, and 164. In losses, this season. He has passing yards of 125, 179, and 349. So if you're looking at the stats, it is hard to get a read on Justin Herbert. It is hard to understand, like, hey, when he throws for 200 plus yards, they're going to win. But when he throws for 100 less yards, he's like, there's no correlation to that. But I can tell you, in the years that I've watched Justin Herbert play in the NFL, yes, I understand. New regime, new coaching staff, new philosophies, yada, yada, yada. But if you make Justin Herbert throw the ball, if you make Justin Herbert the beast, the Mahomes 2.0, as like people want us to like say, right? He will lose you more games than like he will win. He is best when he's able to play loose and has a defense to win him games. Justin Herbert is at his best when he has that defense that is only giving up 10, 12 points per game. And he has the ability to just manage the game, to give the ball off, nickel and dime it down the field, have 130 yards passing, and be perfectly happy in winning that game. And wins this season. This defense has given up 10 points to the Raiders, 3 points to the Panthers, 16 points to the Broncos, 8 points to the Saints, 10 points to the Browns, and 17 points to the Tennessee Titans. The defense is winning the games for the LA Chargers this season. Justin Herbert needs to be the game manager, not the beast, right? He just needs to know that the defense can win him the games as long as he can take care of the ball. They're going to win a lot of games. So, guys, the question is Justin Herbert just a game manager? Is it an overreaction to say that Justin Herbert is just a game manager and not a beast? It is not an overreaction. It is not an overreaction at all. Justin Herbert is a game manager, and he's a very successful game manager, and the Chargers need him to be a game manager if they want to be dangerous in the playoffs. Right now, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm the Buffalo Bills, if I'm the Ravens, I don't want to play a team like the Chargers in the playoffs if Justin Herbert is managing the game. But the minute Justin Herbert becomes this beast, the minute Justin Herbert becomes the man, bear, pig, all bets are off. The Chargers are losing. My man David Nazar, a huge Chargers fan. Who was their coach last season? Why do I not remember their coach? Their coach was the biggest failure ever for the LA Chargers. He was the reason why they lost so many games. It was because he's like, Justin Herbert, you are Mahomes 2.0. Our defense, let's worry about that. You're going to score 30, 40, 50 points every game. Do it. What did they do? Chargers lost a lot. Chargers were not very good. So is it an overreaction to say that Justin Herbert is just a game manager? He's a game manager. Not a bad thing, but he's a game manager. Let's see what the people are saying. I gotta sneeze again. Hang on. It's coming. Sorry about that. Laura says, I love Spider Pig. I said that singing along with you the whole time. I love it. Spider Pig, doing whatever a spider pig does. Does he swing from a web? No, we don't, because he's a pig. Are you guys excited about the Simpsons Monday Night Football game, December 9th? Cowboys versus Bengals. Sarah said, Harbaugh has turned Herbert into McCarthy. Hand the ball off and throw when needed to, and that's exactly what it is. And Justin Herbert is succeeding at it. They're winning a lot of games. They're playing really good football. They're a dangerous football team when they do that. I don't want to see Justin Herbert throw for 350 yards. I don't want to see him throw for over 250. I want to see 200 yards passing, 113 yards, 14 yards on the ground. No turnovers, maybe one tutty. That's all I want to see. Manage the game. Manage that game. Derek says he still has that foot or hoof injury. I think his injury, he has what was it? It was the arch thing. Oh, what was it? It was something about his ankle tendonitis or something like that. But yeah, he still has it, and that never goes away. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like ankle tendonitis or something, or may have been shin splints. I don't remember, but yeah, it doesn't go away. So he definitely still has that. Sarah says Harbaugh's brand of football is great. Defense and run the ball. Defense and running the ball travels. And that's what the Chargers are going to have to do in the playoffs. They're going to have to travel. They're going to be potentially the 6th seed in the playoffs. So they're going to be playing the 3rd seed, which will probably be the Pittsburgh Steelers or Baltimore Ravens. And you have to go play defense and run the ball, right? If it is the Ravens, you're going to have to run the ball a lot to keep that high-flying offense off the field. If you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, fight fire with fire, right? Plantar fasciitis. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, that does not go away. James says, when is Herbert not playing hurt? Not wrong. He is hurt a lot of the time. But being a game manager will keep you healthy. Being a beast will make you do beastly things and get hurt. So, double-edged sword there, right, boys? Double-edged sword. Now, this is a statement that I have been not wanting to talk about. I do not enjoy talking about this person. I think this person is very overhyped. I think this person is very, he's definitely polarizing. Definitely gives you a lot of things to talk about. Gives you a lot of, I don't know. It's Coach Prime. It is Coach Prime. So you guys, yesterday on the live show, I said that people are going to start to mimic what the Houston Texans and the Falcons and the Lions have been doing, right? That is bringing ex-players that played within their organization and bring them back in to be their head coach, right? To bring that culture, to bring the love and joy for the team and be the grit guy. Now, when I said that, people were in my inbox talking to me about it. A lot of people like to talk to me in the inbox. I don't know why they don't want to come on like an Elijah shot, but whatever. I digress. There was a person out there, he wished to remain nameless, but he said the Dallas Cowboys are going to go after Coach Prime. They are going to go bring in Deion Sanders. And me and him had a healthy discussion. We talked about it, and I said Coach Prime is a mistake, but if you bring in somebody else, that would be okay. Somebody from that 90s era would be a-okay. Whether it's Troy Aikman, whether it's Tony Romo, potentially somebody with that culture, with that grit, with the Super Bowl rings to back up of what they're saying, right? And then, of course, this person's like, oh, you don't like him because he's a black man. That has nothing to do with it. Stop. That has nothing to do with it. So, as you guys know, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has been one of the top coaching names in the NFL the last few seasons. 2 seasons ago, he went to Colorado. He did win his first game in Colorado versus TCU, I do believe. People were on this hype train. Coach Deion's doing it again. Coach Prime is doing it again. Yada, yada, yada. In just 2 seasons, though, he has turned around the Colorado Buffaloes team. He has them at 7-2 right now on this NCAA season, sitting at 20th in the AP poll. And just like I said on the show the other day, former players as head coaches will be the new standard in the NFL moving forward. So, guys, is it an overreaction to say that I think that Coach Prime and the NFL coaching as a head coach in the NFL will never work? So Coach Prime as an NFL head coach will never work in the NFL. And like I said, we had that conversation, me and this anonymous person. I don't know why I didn't want me to tell his name, but let's call him Carson. No reason why I'm calling him Carson, but just call him Carson. Carson said Coach Prime would turn around the Dallas Cowboys organization. He would do this. He would bring the culture. He would bring the swag. He would bring this, right? The simple fact of the matter is, guys, Coach Prime did turn around the Colorado Buffaloes. They are playing good football right now. They're 7-2, 20th in the AP poll. Good. But you know what Coach Prime did to turn that organization around? It wasn't recruiting. It wasn't developing players. It wasn't lifelong of struggle to get up here and we from the bottom, now we here. They legitimately went out and bought every player. They are paying for every player. The college game right now is not all about coaching. It's all about how much can you pay to bring in the best players in the college football realm. And everybody wants to be with Coach Prime. Everybody wants to get that NIL deal with Coach Prime. Everybody wants that swag with Coach Prime. Well, guess what? In the NFL, you cannot buy the best players. In the NFL, you have to earn that respect, right? In the NFL, you cannot overshadow your players because then your players will get all like, oh, what about me? I'm not saying Coach Prime is a bad college coach. I thought he was for like a while. I thought he was a little overhyped. And then he went to the Colorado. I think he was like 2-1 or whatever, but then they lost like the next 6, right? This season, a totally different thing. A new culture. A lot more money. But is it an overreaction to say that Coach Prime can turn around a NFL team, whether it's the Cowboys, Giants, or Jets, or any other team that could potentially want a former NFL coach? I think it's an overreaction. I don't think Coach Prime or Coach Sanders or Deion Sanders, whatever alter ego he is going by this particular day, I don't think he has it. I don't think he has the fortitude to go into Dallas and tell Jerry to F off and I'm going to do things my way. I don't think he has the know-how to work with people in the NFL. I'm not saying he couldn't be successful. I'm just saying I don't think he would be successful. And maybe that's just a drive he needs, is to hear people say that he won't be successful, he won't do this, he like he won't do that. I mean, he went to Jackson State. He turned it around. He did do a good job at Jackson State. Granted, I think NIL just started to come into place, so there's a lot of gray area still. I'm not saying he did illegal stuff, but I'm just saying you bought a lot of players. Not for sure he can do that. But guys, can Deion Sanders, Coach Sanders, would he go by Coach Prime in the NFL? I'm curious. Can he come into a NFL team and turn it around? James says I hope Deion never comes to the NFL. I've always hated that guy. James says, nope, Belichick will be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys next season. Bill Belichick's not coming to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think two of those egos in the same room can handle it. Jerry and Bill in the same room, oh my God, that'd be terrible. That would be terrible. Sarah says, knowing Jerry, he will want Coach Prime for the media coverage, and that comes with it. Which, very, very good, right? Jerry Jones is a master marketer. He is a great owner. But we do know that Jerry Jones has his own radio show on Tuesdays. We do know that when post-game interviews start, Jerry Jones addresses the media before the media goes into the locker room. When Coach Prime, if he comes to Dallas and coach the Dallas Cowboys, he will overshadow Jerry Jones. I don't think Jerry Jones will be able to handle that. I don't think Jerry Jones would be able to handle Deion Sanders taking his limelight. I mean, it would be, I don't know, would be good. Definitely must talk about TV, right? Laura says, overreaction at this moment. She said, slow it down. Let's see what happens. Derek says, overreaction. Matter of fact, I think a lot of coaches would want to smash him just because based off his cockiness. You can try to smash him, but can you do it? That's the real question. And Laura says, nothing will help the Dallas Cowboys until Jones releases the reins. AKA hire a general manager. AKA be like Virginia McCaskey and just wait till death. Sarah says you build a team through the draft and supplement it with free agents to patch holes. And Coach Prime has not had to do that in the college realm. He goes out there and gets anybody that he wants and flashes his nice Prime sunglasses here, flashes his big Rolex and a big chain, his $1 million ranch out there in Colorado. Like, hey, you want some of this money? You can't do that in the NFL. You actually have to develop talent, unlike the Chicago Bears. And Sarah says, I wouldn't want Coach Prime anywhere near my Vikings. So Sarah's a Vikings fan. welcome to the show, Sarah, another Vikings fan. We needed some more Vikings fans. Thank you for joining us today. But guys, that is it for Overreaction Tuesday. A lot of things to overreact to, a lot of things to underreact to, but a little bit of water cooler talk, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? We got about 5 minutes before the show ends. What do you guys want to talk about today? We got the NFL Power Rankings tonight, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here on Facebook.com, of course, YouTube.com. I will have the rest of the After Hours crew. We'll have Mark and Hoffy, the toxic roundtables that they like to call themselves, more like the non-toxics, a little bit of baby back bitches. Yeah, I know. I should probably pull that up. Baby back. There you go. Sorry, Big X Sports Radio. But guys, what do you guys want to talk about? Laura says the Vikings fans are the best fans. Vikings fans are the best fans. Let's talk about who are the best. When you guys think of fans, there are fans out there that I absolutely hate. Eagle fans are gross. Dallas Cowboys fans are gross. Me being a Cowboys fans, we are gross, right? We build that up, right? Kansas City Chiefs fans, most loyal, even when the Chiefs are like are bad, which we haven't been bad in a long time. The stadium still fills out week after week, year after year. Who are legitimately the best fans in all of NFL sports? And going to stadiums across the realm here, right? First of all, the Lions, that home field, definitely home field advantage. The Lions fans are pretty passionate fan base. Several of them like to start fights, but that's regardless. Chiefs fans, to me personally, are the most nice fan base out there. Barbecue is good. Tailgating's always fun, right? But guys, who are the best fans out there? I know people are going to say their team. If you take your team out of it, so I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs out of it. Laura and Sarah, you guys take the Vikings out of it. John, you take the Lions out of it. Derek, you take the Raiders out of it. Who is the best fan base in NFL sports? And to be honest, when you think about it, one of the loyalist fan bases have been the New York Jets. I mean, you see that, what's that, Fireman Ed, right? Every time the Jets are on primetime TV, Ed's over there with his fire hat, right, trying to get the crowd into it. It always seems to be packed. Jets fans seem loyal. I don't know. It is what it is. And of course, Derek says the Raiders. The Raiders in Oakland was the best fan base, that black hole. It says we sell the most merch. Well, you sell the most merch because the Mexicans buy it up. I'm kidding. Laura says, let's talk about the hot mic issue with Mahomes' thoughts. Thoughts on the hot mic. So, Laura, we talked about this yesterday, and I believe it was Mark D. Did you hear what Mahomes said, the referee, to help him out when the player's coming? First things first, Mahomes did not tell the referee to tell him when the defensive player is getting close. The referee was in the middle of him talking to his lineman, and it just happened the mic turned on when the penalty was like was called, and Mahomes was caught on the hot mic, right? Mahomes was telling his left tackle and center and say, hey, let me know when I'm being chased, when a player's coming, so I can get out of bounds or do whatever, right? It was coaching on the field. It's like, hey, make me better so I can make you better. But it was blown out of proportion. Mark was trying to upset me, like, oh, did you see Mahomes was trying to cheat? And the people like, and of course the conspiracy people are saying, oh, did you guys hear what like Mahomes said? He said the refs are paying him. Shut up. It was take it out of context situation, and it is what it is. Like, there are a lot of things on the football field that are said that it was caught up on a hot mic, or people heard what we said on the football field. You're like, what? There's been times on the football field, Laura, where Me and my other linebackers and safeties are having full-blown conversations about eating tacos. In the middle of a game, we're talking about eating tacos, right? We're down like in our stance. Like, oh, man, you gotta put some sour cream on those tacos, man. You can't have no tacos like without sour cream. And if you would have heard that on a hot mic, you're like, what are these guys? Are these guys talking about sex? Like, no, it is what it is. But Derek says the Jaguars or Browns have the best fan base. The Jaguars, absolutely not. Absolutely not the Jaguars. That stadium is consistently empty. Even when the Jaguars are good, the stadium is completely empty, right? Miami, actually pretty much the whole state of Florida and the whole state of California are the worst for sports teams in general. They're always empty. But I would say the Browns are pretty good fan base. Champy says the Cardinals equals the most talented offensive team in the NFL. Well, Champy, I see you are an Arizona Cardinals fan, and that is not true. That is not true. And Kyler Murray is not the best quarterback in the NFC. Kyler Murray is not even a top 10 quarterback in the NFC. The Arizona Cardinals are the most overrated team in the NFC. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry, Champy. Facts are facts. Laura says the Jag Stadium is beautiful, though. It can be beautiful all you want. Tropicana Field for the Miami Marlins is beautiful. They have that beautiful water slide. They have a pool, but nobody ever goes. Nobody ever goes. But guys, that's going to be it for today. Got to get the dudes off the bus. You guys know what it is all about. We will be back tomorrow, 1:30 East Coast time, breaking down Week 11. We'll update the schedule. I still got Week 10. That's on me. We got the Lions Grit podcast tonight at 7. I'll be a guest on that. I'll be streaming it on our YouTube and Facebook pages as well. Be sure to join us, guys. Chime in with that. I'll be wearing the Aiden Hutchinson jersey. I am not a Lions fan, but I will root for the Lions when they're not playing my Kansas City Chiefs or whatever. Also, tonight, 9 p.m. East Coast time, we got the Power Ranking Show. And of course, guys, we do upload clips and shorts every 3 hours tonight. So if you miss any part of the show, check out the clips at youtube.com, of course, facebook.com. I do upload theirs. And yes, Laura, the Power Ranking Show is tonight, 9 p.m. East Coast time. You guys are going to be upset. There's some moving up at the top. You guys aren't going to like it. But like Derek says, have a great day. See y'all in like 6 hours. Until then, we out.